William, hey. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, William,
I don't know.
so you know how we always get off topic on a tangent in our videos?
You want to? Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to start
Yeah.
us off with an off topic tangent real quick. This has nothing to do with the video with the movie we're about to discuss, but I need to discuss this, right?
Okay. Sure.
All right,
Go ahead.
so one of my favorite media is Sherlock Holmes. One of my favorite literary stories, Sherlock Holmes, right? Classic story, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
problem is we're not doing a Sherlock Holmes video anytime soon, so I have nowhere to put this rant. So I'm just gonna put it in this video and call it a day, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So for Sherlock Holmes, right? For Sherlock Holmes adaptation, I divide it into two categories: classic and new age. All right. New age
Uh-huh.
is not reimagining, right? Reimagining could go in either category, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in my definition, classics are those that adapt the source, like the actual Sherlock Holmes stories. So even reimagining, as long as they adapt those stories, even if it's set place in modern time or future time or a different time period or whatever, as long as they follow the Sherlock
Yeah.
Holmes story, it's considered a classic Sherlock Holmes story in my opinion, right? But new
Mm-hmm.
age Sherlock Holmes, in my opinion, is those that just use the element of Sherlock Holmes, but has nothing to do with the Sherlock Holmes source material. Like it just has the character of Sherlock Holmes, the character of Watson, the character of Moriarty, etc., etc. It just has the elements, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so you're following along with me, all right? So I just finished watching the
Yes.
Sherlock
Yes. I'm
Holmes
following.
adaptation, right? So the
Yep.
thing with New Age Sherlock Holmes is that they try to do a twist, right? They do something crazy and unique, right? Like Miss
Uh-huh.
Sherlock, right, which is a female-led adaptation of Sherlock Holmes, but that's a New Age. Like it doesn't follow the Sherlock Holmes story. It's just a Sherlock Holmes except Sherlock Holmes is a girl now, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or Sherlock
Okay.
Holmes in the 22nd century, where Sherlock Holmes is in the 22nd century.
Uh.
Okay, so William. So when I
Uh-huh.
when I asked you about James Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes' relationship, what would you describe their relationship as?
I mean, they're like what rivals,
Yeah,
right?
enemies, right?
That
Yeah,
kind of thing.
right.
Yeah.
So
Enemies.
that's
Arch
so
enemies.
so we know the basic relationship of Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty, right? So the Sherlock Holmes
Mm-hmm.
adaptation I just watched, right? So this is the New Age twist. It was a New Age adaptation. This was the New Age twist of the Sherlock Holmes is that Moriarty is Sherlock Holmes' best friend or whatever the fuck, or their partners. They're Watson's still there, but we don't give a fuck. Watson's not part of this discussion. Watson's there, but Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty are friends, right? They're good chums, right? That's the twist,
Yeah.
right? Right?
Okay.
Okay, so you're following me, all right? So the twist of the
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes is that James Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes are best friends. Hey, guess what happens in the last three episodes that you're supposed that's supposed to come out of nowhere?
What they become enemies out of nowhere? Is
No,
this what you're
Moriarty
telling me?
was actually evil the entire time.
Whoa! What a
I know, I
twist!
was so
Holy
fucking
shit!
mad. I was so fucking mad when they did that. Like they tried to make it like a big twist, but I wasn't fucking
Uh-huh.
surprised because I know the character of Moriarty and the character of Sherlock Holmes. So they tried to make this. So throughout the anime, it's like this episode arc was like the entire was like six was like six episodes or some shit, right? So for like
Yeah.
five or six episodes, we just see Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes being best friends and all that shit, right? Like, oh hey yo Moriarty, hey yo Sherlock Holmes, what's up? Let's be friends. Yeah, we're friends and all that shit, right? Right? And then in the last three
Mm-hmm.
episodes, they just fucking twist you, be like, oh, by the way, Sherlock Holmes, I was actually evil the entire time, and I have always been evil. And I was so fucking mad about this supposed twist. I was like, fucking everyone fucking saw that shit coming. But the problem is throughout the four episodes that they hang around with, there was no indication of Moriarty being evil, right? Like they literally
No.
just throw it at the last minute,
Okay. So
just
it's
so they
like,
could remind you that, oh yeah, by the way, I'm Moriarty and I'm evil. I was so fucking mad at that shit.
all
It
right.
wasn't executed well. I was so fucking annoyed.
So it's like literally there's no build up to it, like subtly like subtle sinister actions from Moriarty
Yeah.
just becomes okay.
Yeah, he was just fucking
Yeah.
evil. Yeah, like they try to twist you with being that with like, oh yeah, I'm Moriarty, I'm good now. But then they twist you again at the end with no fucking reason. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm actually evil. I was like, oh fuck, what's the like literally everything that just happened is fucking pointless. I was so annoyed watching this fucking Sherlock Holmes adaptation. It's like what the fuck? Like I literally just wasted like six episodes for no fucking reason. I literally could just watch the last episode, the last three episodes, and it still would have been everything was still would have been the same.
God, dude.
It was really fucking annoying watching that Sherlock Holmes anime I was watching.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right then.
All right.
All
Yeah.
right,
That's
so
my
that's
that's my
that's
Sherlock Holmes adaptation rant. All right.
Nice, dude.
All right. Here, what movie we're
Fucking
talking about today, William?
yeah. So we're well. Aside from that tangent, we're gonna be talking about Gretel and Hansel. The
Oh, you mean
2020
you mean
horror
not
film.
Hansel and Gretel?
No, it's Gretel and Hansel.
Oh.
Not Hansel and Gretel.
Is this
Gretel
the
and
new
Hansel.
age twist of Hansel and Gretel? Is Gretel,
No, it's
Gretel
not,
and
it's
Hansel?
not some new age twist, okay? There's no new age twist.
Is this new age Hansel and Gretel?
Oh my god. Anyway, so
Fucking mad at that
alright,
joke now.
So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. It's just I'm as always. No, we're not. You're not keeping that. No, stop it. That's not good. That's not going to be the name of this thing, okay?
What?
That's not going to be the joke here.
What? New age twist?
Yes, exactly. It's not going to be the joke here.
To be fair, I just realized that as we're talking about it, I didn't plan for that joke to work itself into this discussion. To be honest, you chose to discuss this movie first. You brought it upon yourself.
Look, man, I'm choosing to talk about the not as good movie as the other one that we'll be talking about.
Okay.
Oh, but then I mean, to be fair, this isn't a really bad movie. It's decent, but it's
I like
not
this movie.
exactly. Like you can like it and that's fine, and I enjoyed it. It's just I wouldn't watch it again because it's a horror film, but it's not a really good horror film.
Well, I forgot it
That's
was a horror
elements.
film. Even watching throughout this movie, to be honest.
I mean, honestly, it's just like it like they say it's a horror film, but it feels more like very very much like it's a I guess it's more of a growing up kind of tale.
Mm-hmm.
But with horror elements in it, and they don't really scare or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they never scared me. They never got to me.
Mm-hmm. You never
But-
got spooked. You never got them spooked.
I never did get spooked.
Mhm.
So, like, if you're looking for a good, like, the movie here is very much shot like an A24 film. I very much noticed.
Yeah, that was the thing.
And-
I really liked the cinematography in this film, to be honest. Everything
no,
in this
the
movie
cinematography is
was
fucking
was
fantastic.
filmed very good. Like all the color palettes and everything. Like everything in this movie looks like a painting in a way.
Yeah, and it's like, it very much helps to add, like, a lot of shots honestly do help to add to the fact that you're in a dark, spooky forest.
Yeah, it really
You
adds
know?
to the atmosphere of this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just there's like something odd and just weird about it, and it's kind of fucking great.
Mhm.
Like they also actually use color. Like a lot of movies, I mean, at least like I used to notice this back then, but it seems to be coming back now. But a lot of movies used to kind of kept to a dark, very very grimy kind of picture.
Mhm.
So it's like it's either really dark and you don't see anything, and then like if it's daytime, it's just very drab and boring colors. But here they have good usages of reds and blues,
Yeah.
to kind of keep with that sinister and somber tone that they've been
Yeah,
going with, and
I
also
really
plenty
love the
of dark greens.
colors in this movie.
Yeah, it's really good, and so I mean it's like the cinematography is fantastic. It's very good. The visuals are amazing.
Yeah.
The acting is also good, and I guess the horror, like, I think maybe the horror elements are fine, but honestly, like, the horror elements don't work because of its pacing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also the thing. But before we get into any more of that, I will continue on with discussing the plot through the synopsis that is found.
Yeah,
on
like
Wikipedia.
a real synopsis we have now.
I know, and it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs.
Oh fuck,
so, you know,
that's a lot.
there
You
go.
have to read a lot of that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I figure if anything, we can discuss it, like, go from, like, if there is something to talk about in the paragraph, we'll stop and talk about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, otherwise, I could just go through the whole thing, but
Yeah.
we'll see. So, I'm gonna start right now.
Okay, yeah, you do that.
So, yeah, I know, I plan on it.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Okay, I'm doing it, Austin.
Do it right now.
Don't stop. No, don't stop me, Austin. I'm
Oh,
doing
okay. This is the newest twist on reading the paragraph, by the way.
it. Just, like, fucking just stalling while trying to say we're doing it, but we don't actually do it.
Yeah.
Alright. But then, plot twist, we do it. Anyway, so, a baby that everyone in the village found to be the most precious falls terribly ill one winter. Her father took her to see an enchantress, who removed the illness but left the power within the girl. As she grew older, people in the village went to the girl because she had premonitions of the future. Because she knew everything ended in death, she used her power to kill people, including her father. The child was taken into the woods to be left alone, but she lured other children to a grim fate. Paragraph 1. That's very, very much stole, like, I mean, this is one of the things which kind of annoyed me. Like, it was fine here in the beginning, but, like, you have, this is basically, you have teenage, she's a teenager here. Teenage Gretel, who is basically, narrating for us. And so it's one of those things where she doesn't just narrate at the beginning, but she does narrate throughout the rest of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of annoys me because I'm like, there's a moment when she's like, spoilers, sure, but I mean, we'll discuss it anyway. But like, there's a moment where they're at the witch's house, and basically she doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
But her brother Hansel is scared,
Mm-hmm.
and so she's just at this moment where she kind of like takes Hansel and just pushes him out, and like tells him to fend for himself and leave. It goes back towards the house,
Mm-hmm.
which is very very much like a very dick move.
Yeah.
But then she wakes up, and then she's like, "Oh, was that a dream? What was it?" And then it's like she's narrating this moment. I would have preferred if it was we were visually told this rather than told through narration.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of those things I feel kind of does ruin the pacing a bit because it's like I wish we could focus on the visual and on the acting, but we just focus on the narration. Just it takes me out of it.
Mm.
So that's one thing. One thing I'm saying right now, and then I'm going to continue on with the rest of this. So it says here, after their father's death, teenage Gretel and her younger brother Hansel are going to meet a man about a job as a housekeeper. Gretel meets with the man, but he makes his true intentions clear when he asks Gretel if she is still a virgin, and so the two leave without a job. At night, the siblings' mother rebukes Gretel for not doing what she had to do to get a job and help provide for them. She tells Gretel that she and Hansel must leave before there is no room left in the house, threatening to hack Gretel to bits if they don't leave immediately. The siblings flee their home and find a hut to sleep in for the night. Suddenly, a ghoulish man arises and lets out a horrible scream and chases the siblings outside, attacking Hansel. Before he can get to Gretel, he is killed with an arrow to the head from a hunter, who takes the siblings into his home for the night and directs them toward others who can provide them with food and work. The following morning, the siblings go outside to forage and seek work. They get frustrated when they find nothing until Gretel spots some mushrooms. They turn out to be hallucinogenic mushrooms that causes the two to laugh hysterically.
Nice.
Yeah, this is also one of those things which really take me out of it because it just seems like it's kind of thrown in there to kind of pad out the movie, because it's literally like it's a horror movie, and then it's like this moment where they basically eat these mushrooms and they're high as fuck, and then it's just like, what did this do?
Yeah, I was like,
we're padding out the
would it
movie.
make more sense if they saw like spooky image from this, like how they saw like the spooky guy? I don't know, like maybe I like a subtle subplot about how like Hansel's like still scared of the fucking spooky man, so he fucking hallucinates about him again or some shit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
kinda,
but I didn't understand the purpose of the scene. Like I feel like you could have taken the scene out, it probably still would have been the same. Honestly.
Yeah, you could like take it out. It honestly wouldn't detract from anything.
Like it adds nothing to them, and we just fucking see kids get high.
Yeah, basically, and like there's this one moment where Gretel is like basically looking at Hansel getting spooked as shit. So I expected something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So like, so this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna see what the point of the scene is. Nothing happens. Yeah. I mean, at most you might see like weird people like walking around, but you could have honestly done that without the hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Yeah.
So it's like. Okay.
Yeah, maybe see the ghosts of like the kids of the forest that died, like stuff like that. Like add context to the scene because the scene just does nothing.
It's just very out of place,
yeah.
And it does ruin the pacing of the movie, and it's just weird. It's just an odd scene that's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Hansel then wanders until he finds a house that has a cake smell coming from it. Gretel follows as she hears what sounds like a girl's voice beckoning her, singing alongside this beautiful child.
Yeah, they could have added that into the hallucination scene. Like maybe she hallucinates hearing the. Well, so going back on the hallucination real quick. Like maybe she hallucinates hearing the sound, right? But then we found out that the sounds are real, and then as we move into the next scene, right? Like make it fit in. Like that would have made more sense,
Yeah, I mean, it's at least something that would just, make the scene work, but, just kind of there, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gretel tries to stop Hansel from going inside, but he goes anyway and appears to be taken by someone. Gretel tries to start a fire to break inside, but she is greeted by Hulda, the woman living inside. She invites the siblings inside for a meal and allows them to sleep there in exchange for work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good old child labor.
Well, yeah, good old child. Look, man, they didn't have child labor laws back then.
You're right.
No one honestly gave a shit.
You're right, but in the new age, we do have child labor laws.
Unfortunate. Not really. I'm not advocating for the abolishment of child labor laws.
Child labor laws. William, are you a fan of child labor laws?
Oh my god! Look, I was making the joke. Don't make this any more than I asked it.
Alright, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Hulda has Hansel go out into the woods to practice his skills with an axe while she keeps Gretel at the house. Hansel enjoys his time there because they have plenty of food, but Gretel becomes suspicious of Hulda's intentions. Gretel starts to see a vision of the enchantress and hears children's voices guiding her somewhere, but before she finds out what's going on, she wakes up in her bed. While Hansel goes out, Hulda shows Gretel how to tap into her powers as a witch. Gretel goes into the woods and manages to use her power to bring a tree branch near her so she can take fruit from it. Meanwhile, Hansel also sees a vision of the enchantress and spots an inverted pentagram carved on the nearby tree. Hansel starts to grow suspicious of Hulda. Later in the night, Gretel makes her way into Hulda's cellar where Hansel is sitting in a trance. Suddenly, the floor fills with goo, and a younger witch emerges, emptying buckets of guts onto the table before turning them into the same food that Hulda fed the siblings. The next day, as Gretel sits with Hulda while she is eating, she sees her pull a long strand of child's hair out of her mouth. Gretel pleads with Hulda to let Hansel go, but she refuses. Alright, there's a bit of... I can understand why they didn't write it in there, but they are missing they are missing the scene while, like, Hansel does grow suspicious of her. Gretel, however, wants to learn more powers from the witch, and so when Hansel's, like, saying, I don't want to stay here, Gretel does push Hansel out of the house and leaves him to fend for herself and goes back inside. This is when it happens around.
Mm-hmm. Wait, are you adding that into the plot synopsis for this page?
I mean, I don't think I will. I don't care that much. Maybe later.
What you did for Mythica, you cared enough for Mythica. You don't care enough for...
Yeah, look, man, I will write the 3 other synopsises for Mythica, okay? But before I start putting in one line for Gretel and Hansel. I don't know, man. It's just a thing.
Okay.
But like, yeah, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so basically, because when she pushes him out, she's not sure if it was a dream or a vision she had, but she knows that her brother is missing, and so she basically yeah, this is what. So basically, she starts wondering if she can go looking out for her brother just to make sure, but then she does but she did find the whole the cellar thing earlier, and so when she's suspicious of it, and she's told like she asks the witch if she can make a sleeping draught so that she can go to sleep at night. So she takes it, but then she does it up later on, and so that while the witch is doing whatever, she goes down into the cellar, and then that's when she finds the whole vision thing, or whatever. And so then it's the next day, and then Hulda is aware that Gretel kind of knows, but Gretel's trying to play dumb so that she doesn't draw suspicion and have the right time to actually save her brother and stuff. And so she also makes a sleeping draught for the witch because the witch actually left earlier. She was digging a hole or something. I don't quite remember what it was she was doing, but So she makes a sleeping draught, gives it to the witch, but the witch, of course, is unaffected because she's probably had it a million times, so it doesn't work. And that's what she's trying to she's trying to convince Gretel to okay, look, just forget about your brother, just move on without him. I'll teach you everything you know because we're both witches. You know?
Yeah, which is before bitches.
Yeah, basically, and so I'll continue on with this. So it says, through a series of visions, she tells Gretel the truth about the story of the beautiful child. Hulda was the girl's mother, and because she resented her daughter for killing her father, she abandoned the girl in the woods. However, the child lingered in Hulda's mind, promising to share her powers with her if she trusted the darkness. Hulda devoured her other children and took on the guise of an old woman to appear friendly and lure children to their face. So essentially we have 2 different witches here. And so Hulda straps Gretel to a table in the cellar as she assumes her youthful appearance to lure Hansel into a cage so she can cook him. Gretel manages to use her powers to move a staff toward Hulda, pinning her to the wall over the flames. Her body catches fire and she dies, breaking the trance on Hansel and setting Gretel free. Gretel decides to stay behind at the house while sending Hansel on his way with a horse. The horse brings him back to the family's old house, with their mother now gone. Gretel sees the spirits of the dead children emerge from the trees, now free at last. Her fingers start to turn black, just as Hulda's did, as she stated in a voiceover that she would be brave and trust herself. And so that's the end of the plot synopsis right here. Yeah, so, I mean, they make it seem like, or at least in the movie, I mean, like I always like when the mother like kicked them out. It always seemed like a kinder type of thing, in that like they're better off fending for themselves when they leave, because they literally have no food, and so the mother will probably end up dying soon afterwards. So which is why she kind of like threatens to hack Gretel, because they like, I don't know, so they can survive or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so far, except for maybe that missing scene. No, there are also reasons where like Gretel is actually there's reasons she's suspicious. Like, first of all, like the witch has like no animals and shit, and so like it's like, how is she getting all this food, dude?
Yeah.
And then but Hansel's like, I don't give a shit. And where was I going with this? Man, where was I going with this, Austin?
Well, I was following you. Well,
I know, but
I'm playing Kingdom Hearts right now.
Oh my god, why are you playing Kingdom Hearts?
I'm still playing Kingdom Hearts, alright? I'm trying to platinum Kingdom Hearts, alright? It's a process. It's a whole fucking process, alright? Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, I forgot where I went, so sorry for bringing off on that useless tangent. But
what you needed was a new age. Was it a classic tangent or a new age tangent?
It's a new age tangent, obviously, because it went nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. I don't know, but anyway. I mean, the movie works fine for the most part. It's just oh my god, it takes so long to get to the point of things.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff doesn't really happen in this movie. Like,
because it's like
it just takes it just happens.
Yeah, the thing is, I can understand the pacing of things if it used them to draw out the tension of the story, but there isn't really any tension to be had.
Yeah,
like you get the story, you get basically the kids are just out on their own, and so the kids get high. I mean,
kids get high.
Yeah, kids get high. I mean, there is that brief thing where like, I don't know if there's a purpose to it. I feel like there might be, because like the thing is, when there's the ghoulish man, right?
Yeah.
As they call it, right? Who was attacking the kids, and then the huntsman kills the who I would call a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Basically, there is this interesting throwaway line that he says, where he's basically like, okay, so go down this way, go this west for 2 days and 2 nights. Whatever you do, don't talk to any wolves, right? Because like, while they might like or something, like, he said something about wolves, I believe. And so he's like they don't make for good conversation. So I think that might mean that and then it's like at the end of it, and at the end of the movie, like there's this thing we're here. Like, I think they're trying to do some world building where they're trying to connect all the Grimm's fairy tales together.
Yeah.
Like not like as you would in The Mummy, but like a throwaway line, like how we said like it should have been done, right? Which is what they do here. I'm like, which is what kind of piques my interest too. Where basically at the end of things, when Hansel does make it back home, and he there's this thing where he finds an axe just embedded in the table that his mother just basically put there, and he takes it. So I thought that was meant to imply that he will become the huntsman that will later, save Little Red Riding Hood.
Interesting.
And so that's also making me think: are they gonna do other movies like of this kind of take, where we're gonna see Little Red Riding Hood and Snow White and stuff like that?
Well, to be fair, this movie has a subtitle that wasn't in the original release. Apparently, this is Gretel and Hansel: A Grimm's Fairy Tale. Yes, apparently they added a subtitle post-release. So I'm assuming they're trying to build off on this in this universe.
Which I can see, and it could work out well, to be honest. But Austin, are we witnessing the beginning of the Grimm universe?
The Grimm universe?
The Grimm universe. Okay, that's what we're witnessing here. We're gonna see the beginning of the Grimm universe, Austin.
Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, it could be interesting connecting the Hansel and Gretel story, but it's just how they're gonna do it. Like the biggest problem is that nothing is scary in this movie, or I don't know what the theme, like the horror theme. Like, it wasn't a suspense movie. Like, wasn't a lot of like horror. Like, it wasn't like a jump scare horror movie. Like, there was nothing that just fucking jumped out of you. Right?
Yeah, It's like, I mean, at most there's
I
probably
thought this was gonna be like a fuck. What was that movie we watched a long time ago about the fucking woods, about the stuff at night? Fuck, what was that movie called?
Oh, It Comes at Night?
Yeah, like that. Like,
yeah.
I thought it was like my assumption my assumption was gonna be like that, like it was gonna be like a suspenseful horror movie as it gradually builds up at the end, because that's what it made this movie seem like, due to the due to all the color and the tone. I thought it was gonna be like a suspenseful horror, but it wasn't.
Yeah. And so it's like you also get like this stuff with the witch and I always felt like after the whole they're being pointed like the huntsman is like, okay, go this way, and then they go, and then when they meet the witch, like I thought like, at least when we get to the witch part, we would get some like tension or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She continuously does weirder and weirder things.
Yeah.
But they don't treat it like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't treat it like as they're trying to survive. Because like, I mean, she provides and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like they don't they don't treat the suspicion well enough in the fact that like Hansel is at first like, he thinks everything's okay, but it's fine because he's like an 8-year-old kid.
Yeah,
but Gretel's the one who's
8-year-old kids don't know
suspicious all
anything
along.
except getting high. That's the only thing that 8-year-old kids know.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like, later on you have it kind of switched to where Gretel is kind of like being taught by what was her name, Hulda, I believe it was the name here.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, she's being taught by Hulda, and so then it's like. Then it's kind of like they're having these discussions about like how men fear witches, that kind of thing, and it's rightly so, that kind of stuff. But it's also kind of like it's kind of like the story where basically Gretel has to learn how to like she does have to learn to let go of Hansel, which she does, but in a more proper way rather than eating her own living flesh and blood.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like she's learning to what's the term? Come into herself. I believe it would be the term.
Mm-hmm.
She's growing. She's learning that she has to go her own way, while her brother has to go the other way, because she's taking you being the sole provider for a child is tough, and honestly, it's not something that should have ever fallen on Gretel in the first place, and that's like it's like taking care of somebody can impede your own, I don't know, evolution is what I suppose is the way to look at it, and how how your attachment to things or the people you love can sometimes get in the way of your own growth, which is kind of like how I was getting the sense from that after the witch was kind of teaching her, and so it's like that's the story I'm getting, right? But it's like you're not really putting a horror-esque type of thing into it.
Yeah.
There is a threat, but I never really felt threatened by the threat,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's a fine story. It's a fine fairy tale type of thing. And honestly, the whole movie is actually rather faithful to the original story, because it literally only has 3 characters for the most part.
Yeah.
Hansel, Gretel, and the witch. And you have some other side characters, but they don't really serve any purpose other than possibly world build around it.
Yeah.
To
expand upon this universe that they're trying probably making.
Yeah, with the huntsman, and then there's the mention of the wolves, and then there's the hinting at like Hansel becoming the huntsman to either not the Cinderella story, the Snow White story, or Red Riding Hood story, or possibly both.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's its own thing. And so it's like you get that, but I don't know how else to explain it, but I never really felt there was a threat to these kids.
Yeah.
Possibly because of how faithful it is to the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's possibly either that, or possibly because of the pacing itself, because it honestly takes way too long for like the horror elements to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like you don't feel scared.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, that's what I say. There was nothing that made it look like we did. So we know what the original plot was. Like the witches are fattening up to eat them, but nothing ever happens. Like we just see the witch doing stuff. But there's the witch in the story is like she uses the kids for her own personal gains, right? In the end, but she doesn't seem to do that in this movie. She's just fucking there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you say how there's no threat to these. Like these kids are just there. She's just like just doing stuff with the kids, but like it doesn't show it.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there is a threat, I will say, but I don't really feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I think it's a lot to do with like it's not really focusing on the threat, because it really doesn't. Because a lot of it focuses on just Gretel's suspicion of that threat.
Yeah.
And so it's like if we had more like of a sense of of them being in danger, then that would probably helped.
Mm-hmm.
If you had it like saying maybe she is like acting a lot more creepily towards Hansel, which she kind of does. She kind of sniffs at him, like, she smells delicious, that kind of thing. But you don't really get a lot of that, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's a fine story, but it's not a good horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my thing. Like, there was nothing scary about this movie.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really like. First of all, they don't really like. I appreciate it, but they don't really come in. They don't really have anything that comes in the way of jump scares.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if the soundtrack is also a detriment to it. While I like the soundtrack, it's also very. It really. I don't think it gives into or supplies a sense of tension. It's its own thing, obviously, and it's very different from what I'm usually hear from a horror movie, which is the typical violence. It's very high notes and all that stuff. Or a deep, very very deep bass or something like that, or a deep rumbling that you'll probably hear, which is also probably why that doesn't help, because if anything that like stuff like that does tend to like add to the tension.
Yeah, but the problem is when you add tension, you have to have it built up, which is the problem with. Is what I like the music for this movie. Like it's all very suspenseful music that you hear in suspense. But the problem is that usually with these type of music, when you use like low rumbles or whatever, you have it built up to something, right? But they don't. But whatever they built up to doesn't have the build up. Like wherever we see on screen doesn't match the build up of the song. Yeah. That was yeah, like I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack, like all the music in this movie actually sounds really good. But I feel like the music doesn't match the scenes too well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's not. It's like it's in the horror genre because there are like there's the Enchantress.
Okay, no, there isn't. All right. Just in case that I need to see if Nick Fury shows up.
Yeah, and it's just like. It belongs in a horror genre, I suppose, and it's like only very loosely, It's very it's very atmospheric. It does have a mood to it, but it doesn't. I'm not sure if it never provided with me for anything other than like, somber. Yeah. It doesn't give me a sense of eeriness or dread.
Horror in this movie are just like horror elements, like you just see bloody bodies, dead bodies and stuff like. And I guess the zombie guy that shows up, like he just fucking shows up, and that shit is never fucking explained. I was like, I thought the zombie guy was supposed to be part of this shit. And I was like, oh okay, yeah, I guess not. He's just a fucking zombie guy. He just appears for one fucking scene, and then he just fucks up. Like, I thought they were gonna use that because it's never really they just fucking show a zombie guy. I was like, oh okay, all right,
yeah.
Or maybe the huntsman, they would have fucking used more the guy they meet. Or something like that, right? Like he just fucking shows up and he just fucking pieced the fuck out. He's like, oh, I never still see him for the rest of the movie.
Right.
Like have something more with his character to add tension or everything. Like make him like a guide to the world, to the spooky world. Like
I don't know if that would work actually, because the thing is, like, I get what you're saying, but the whole idea of Gretel Hansel is like literally just two kids alone in the woods, and there are dangers that beset them and that they have to overcome, and that's the scariest thing in general.
Yeah,
I feel like if the story focused more on what it wanted to tell, like the whole you have a young woman coming into her own power, and then you have that dilemma. If they focus on that dilemma, perhaps it would have probably been better. The suspension coming from the character, like coming to terms with what she can do, and the horrors and potential horrors of that. Maybe that would have been better.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And
like she doesn't understand her powers, or
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then
I don't know, like she uses her power to fucking hurt fucking Hansel by accident or some shit. So. Yeah.
Like, she wants to give in to the power, that kind of thing, but she also wants to get rid of Hansel because she wants that power, but she doesn't want to really hurt him because, she loves him because, his family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, she, like, then that would have probably worked better with the whole message that he had to learn to trust yourself, trust that power within you, and just, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, that probably worked a whole lot better, too. But it's like... I don't know. It's like it's not a lot of focus on that. I feel like if they took out the section with the huntsman and probably focus more on like, and also the mushroom scene, and focus more on.
But wait, don't you want to see kids get high?
Oh my god! But yeah, it's like if they focus more on Gretel and the witch, and her coming learning to come to terms with these powers, then probably would have worked better.
Yeah, see the dynamic between both of them or something, right?
Because like honestly, the acting and the dynamic between those two was actually bloody great.
Yeah.
Like I love the acting. Like the acting's great. It's just like the storytelling is a little lost.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe it has something like how the witch wants fucking Gretel's power or some shit, like oh yes, oh she has great power, I want her fucking or some shit like that.
Yeah. Like she if she promised like, oh yeah, I will teach you, but only to develop your powers and eat you later on.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, she eats her to get her powers.
Something like that. Yeah, then maybe
that would make more
be
sense.
More of a threat or something.
To add suspense, like even as she's fucking training, she doesn't know that she's being used by the witch and whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and so she has to learn to trust herself rather than someone else. Especially this creepy stranger in the woods. But whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like it's worth the watch, but I honestly wouldn't watch it more than once, if only because it's just like I don't really get too much out of it.
Yeah.
Like the ending's fine. Like a lot of like the horror stuff like that I do get is great. But like it's just like it's too long. And it's just like it takes a long pace. Like I can sit through Blade Runner. I can sit through The Shining. I can sit through long movies like A24 movies. Like I love like fucking what do you call it? Hereditary.
Yeah.
And then I also watch Midsummer, which is like the director's cut, which is long. It is so long.
Yeah.
But it's so worth it. But then in here it's kind of like I don't really get like enough of a reward.
Yeah,
Go through this length.
Yeah, like nothing happens for throughout the runtime for you to feel validated watching it. Like it's just like there's just a lot of fluff and filler that just a lot of like not stuff that doesn't make it seem worth it. Like the fucking scene where they all get high again. It's like we keep going back to that scene.
Yeah, but that's also it's also a good example of how it feels like the story is doesn't know what to do with itself for a little bit there. It gets a sense of itself by the end of things.
Yeah.
But then everything else beforehand was just kind of like I wish I didn't have to go through that just to get through the last few minutes of it.
Yeah, it was just always just filler fluff that was unneeded.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about all I had to say on this movie. So.
What the fuck? There were knights in this movie?
Watch.
When the fuck were there knights in this movie?
There were knights?
Yeah, fuck, I'm looking at the cast. There fucking says 3 people as knights. What the fuck is that? When the fuck did knights show?
Knights?
When the fuck was there knights?
I have no idea.
Was there fucking knights in this movie? Was that the beginning? Was it in the village? God. Where the fuck were there knights?
I'm very confused now.
I'm really confused right now. And also, who the fuck was the demoness? What the fuck was that? What character was that?
The demoness? Isn't that the enchantress from the beginning?
Oh, was that it?
I would assume that is.
No, but there's a credit for the enchantress. If you look at the cast, they say for the enchantress, there's a person already playing it, but then at the bottom, they just say a character named the demoness. Who the fuck was that? What character was the demoness? Did we miss a character? There's like 5 characters in this movie. Who the fuck was this character?
Hold on, let me see if I can post the inventory pieces.
Was it the character that was in that was in like a black hoodie or whatever the fuck when they were in the carriage? Was that who that is?
I don't know. It may have been the hooded people, honestly.
Oh, that's.
I can't explain it otherwise.
That's so fuck. I don't remember this character because they never explained it. But I thought the character that when they were in the carriage was the enchantress. That's so fucking weird. I don't know what character this is.
Okay, because I'll post it, like the picture. I think it'll show up, but yeah, you see she's the one who's being credited here.
I don't remember who that was.
For the demoness.
Yeah. But I'm like,
I do not recall seeing her at all.
Yeah, like the only character I think of, I just had the scene. Was it this character? Hold on, I'm gonna send you a screenshot. The audience not know who the fuck we're talking about, so it doesn't fucking matter. Like, was this supposed to be the demoness? Because when I saw this scene, I thought this was the enchantress or some shit. Was it her?
No, it's not her.
What the fuck is this? So fucking confusing. Because this cast seems way larger than it needs to be for some reason.
Yeah, it's like I don't see a lot of these people. I mean, maybe we did, but we don't recognize them. They're never really shown. There's never a focus on them. That's probably the thing.
I've been going in and I've been flipping throughout this, going through the movie as we're talking about. I don't see half of these characters listed in the credits. Like, who the fuck are these? Who the fuck are knights? I didn't even realize there were fucking knights in this movie. That's so weird.
All right. Well, we should just end it here before our confusion takes everyone else.
All right. That's it. All right, that's
Yeah, that's
hey, maybe these knights were in the New Age adaptation.
Oh my god! I swear to God, that better not be the title for this one.
What, the New Age twist?
Exactly. It better not be.
Oh, we'll figure it out. I'll figure out what the fuck the title is when I fucking edit this. All right. All right. I think that's it. All right. Thanks for listening. Coronavirus is still a thing. Wash your hands, I guess. Okay. Thanks. Bye.